Continuing in 299 AC, Theon Greyjoy arrived on the Iron Islands with a proposal of alliance from Robb Stark, but Theon's father told him they would instead invade the north, while Robb's army was occupied in the south. Theon, though hesitant, chose to betray Robb and help his father. At the Battle of Oxcross, King Robb Stark battled Sir Stafford Lannister, with House Stark and their Tully allies victorious. Arya befriended Jaqen H'ghar and ordered the deaths of Chiswick and Wheeze. Melisandre used her red magic to assassinate King Renly Baratheon on behalf of King Stannis. Most of the Stormland forces switched sides to Stannis, while soldiers of the Reach followed Sir Loras Tyrell back to Highgarden. Jon Snow joined Qhorin Halfhand's party beyond the Wall and went scouting at the Fist of the First Men. With the Ironborn invasion of the North underway, Theon Greyjoy disobeyed orders, moving inland to take Winterfell. Melisandre used her red magic to assassinate Sir Courtenay Penrose on behalf of King Stannis Baratheon to aid in capturing Storm's End. Theon faked the death of Bran and Rickon Stark, who were hiding in the crypts of Winterfell. Sir Edmure Tully disobeyed the orders of King Robb Stark and attacked Lord Tywin Lannister in the Battle of the Fords. Edmure was victorious, forcing Tywin's retreat, but his actions disrupted Robb's long-term plans for the war. Barristan Selmy became advisor to Daenerys Targaryen, posing as Arstan Whitebeard. At the Battle of the Blackwater, King Stannis Baratheon led his armies against Tyrion Lannister, commanding on behalf of King Joffrey Baratheon. Though Stannis came close to victory, Lord Tywin arrived with a Lannister Tyrell army just in time to push the Baratheon forces into retreat. As a result, the kingdom learned that House Tyrell was pledged to King Joffrey Baratheon. Tyrion Lannister suffered a great injury in the battle, losing most of his nose. Jon Snow met Ygritte, a wildling woman he came to love. King Robb Stark captured the Crag in the Westerlands. Robb's mother Catelyn Stark freed Jaime Lannister in the hopes the Lannisters would return Sansa and Arya, sending Brienne of Tarth to accompany him to King's Landing. With Tywin's return to the capital, he took up his position as Hand of the King, while Tyrion became Master of Coin. After being captured, and on the orders of Qhorin himself, Jon Snow feigned betrayal and killed Qhorin Halfhand in order to win the trust of the Wildlings and act as a spy. Robb betrayed his word to Lord Frey of the Twins by marrying a minor noblewoman, Jane Westerling. Theon lost Winterfell and was taken captive by Ramsay Snow on behalf of Roose Bolton, and Winterfell was burned. Arya Stark used Jaqen H'ghar to help her escape Harrenhal, and was given a coin along with the phrase Valar Morghulis before Jaqen changed his face and went his own way. Daenerys obtained an army of unsullied warriors and conquered the city of Astapor, leaving a ruling council before departing. Bran and Rickon Stark separated and fled north, with Asha leading Rickon and Shaggy Dog to Skagos, while Bran, Meera, Jojen, Hodor, and Summer went in search of the Three-Eyed Crow, which continued to haunt Bran's dreams. Lady Margaery Tyrell came to King's Landing and was betrothed to King Joffrey Baratheon, freeing Sansa from King Joffrey's constant abuse. Daenerys conquered Yunkai. White Walkers attacked the Great Ranging beyond the Wall, forcing the Night's Watch to retreat to Craster's Keep. At the Battle of Duskendale, Lord Robert Glover battled Lord Randall Tarley and Sir Gregor Clegane. The Glover forces were defeated, and Robert was taken captive. Jaime and Brienne were captured by the Brave Companions mercenary company. As a result, Jaime's sword hand was removed by Zolo the Fat, a merciless Dothraki fighting for the Companions. Lord Rickard Karstark disobeyed his king and murdered Lannister prisoners. Robb beheaded the Lord as punishment, and so the Karstark forces abandoned his campaign. Sansa Stark married Tyrion Lannister. Stannis and Melisandre threw 3 leeches into a fire and performed a magical ritual calling on the deaths of Joffrey Baratheon, Robb Stark, and Balon Greyjoy. Balon died soon after under mysterious circumstances, having fallen off a bridge during a storm, though many suspect assassination. After some time with the Brotherhood Without Banners, Arya was captured by the Hound Sandor Clegane. Daenerys Targaryen besieged the city of Meereen. After learning that Arstan was Barristan Selmy and Jorah Mormont was once a spy for King Robert, she sent them on a suicide mission to help capture the city, but they both survived and succeeded in their objective. Sir Barristan was forgiven, but Jorah was dismissed after he demanded an apology. Meereen was captured. Jon Snow scaled the wall with some wildling scouts on behalf of Mance Rayder. At Craster's Keep, Lord Commander J.R. Mormont and the Night's Watch suffer mutiny, and many are killed, including the Lord Commander and Craster. Samwell Tarly fled from the fighting with Gilly, a daughter of Craster, and her baby. Jon, now south of the wall, managed to escape from the wildlings and return to Castle Black. Bran enlisted Sam and Gilly to help them pass the wall, and there they encountered Cold Hands, a mysterious creature appearing to be an undead wight, but without hostility and with clear intelligence. At the Twins, Robb Stark was betrayed by Lord Frey and Roose Bolton at the wedding of Edmure Tully and Rosalind Frey. The event became known as the Red Wedding and saw the death of Robb Stark, Catelyn Stark, the direwolf Greywind, the destruction of the Stark army, the capture of Edmure Tully, and the capture of Great John Umber. Robb's wife, Jane Westerling, was safe in Riverrun at the time, and her family connections ensured her safety from the Lannisters. 3 days later, Catelyn Stark was resurrected by a magical ritual where Beric Dondarrion sacrificed his life so she could live. She took the name Lady Stoneheart and assumed control of the Brotherhood without banners. Above all else, she desired vengeance against the Lannisters. In 300 AC, King Joffrey Baratheon married Margaery Tyrell, but during the wedding feast, the king was poisoned and died in an event that came to be known as the Purple Wedding. In her rage, Queen Cersei ordered her hated brother Tyrion Lannister arrested for regicide, though he appeared to be innocent. With King Joffrey dead, his younger brother Tommen inherited the throne. Oberyn Martell offered to represent Tyrion in a trial by combat, while Queen Cersei named Gregor Clegane as her champion. Oberyn was killed in the fighting and Tyrion was sentenced to death, but Oberyn was able to wound the Mountain with a poisoned spear, leaving him severely injured. Peter Baelish went to the Vale of Arryn with Sansa Stark, and there he married Lysa Tully and became Lord of the Vale. He then killed Lysa, and it was revealed that Littlefinger arranged the death of Jon Arryn and set the Starks against the Lannisters, igniting the Civil War. Marillion the Singer was blamed for Lysa's death and was imprisoned, losing his eyes and some fingers. Lord Baelish set to consolidating his power, with Sansa Stark acting as his ally. Arya left the Hound Sandor Clegane to die of his injuries, and boarded a ship to Braavos. War breaks out at the Wall, with Mance Rayder and his wildling army attacking the Night's Watch. With Jaime back in King's Landing, Brienne of Tarth went off in search of Sansa Stark in honor of the deceased Lady Catelyn. In Dorne, the Sand Snakes, the eldest daughters of Oberyn Martell, were imprisoned. A Kingsmoot was held on the Iron Islands, where Euron Greyjoy, Balon's younger brother, was elected king. He promised the Ironborn a full-scale invasion of Westeros, and that he would bring dragons to aid in their cause. He then presented the Dragon Horn, a relic from ancient Valyria, claiming it could control the creatures. Jaime Lannister and Varys arranged for Tyrion's escape from the city, but before leaving, he used the secret tunnels of Maegor's Holdfast to reach his father's room. There he found his former lover, the prostitute Shae, and killed her, then moving on to find his father in the privy. Tyrion shot his father with a crossbow, killing Lord Tywin, Hand of the King. Tyrion then set sail for Pentos, while Varys went into hiding, fearing he'd be suspected. After the victory of the Night's Watch in holding back the wildlings, Jon Snow was arrested by Janos Slynt and Alliser Thorne. After several days in an ice prison, he was sent on a suicide mission to kill Mance Rayder under the guise of a negotiation. But while Jon was with the wildlings, King Stannis Baratheon arrived north of the Wall and scattered Mance Rayder's army. Mance was forced to surrender, but did not bend the knee. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Nantine the Blackburned Ewido, Galvaelra 8 Hands, and Ryanon. If you'd like to help the channel with a monthly donation, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to see more.